Hey Knights, and welcome back to Spiral Central, your source of Spiral Knights news. I'm your host, Kora. Coming up this week, Greyhavens explains exactly why the Forge prize box system changed and shares a surprisingly encouraging update about what's happening behind the scenes. Then, for our community spotlight, I'm joined by Manny, creator of the Almirian Restoration Project, to talk about how one player's love for an armor set grew into one of the community's most recognisable events. We'll also remind you about an event that's coming to an end, and of course, we'll wrap things up with this month's Cora's Care Package. Let's get this week's briefing underway. Last week, many players noticed a change to the Forge prize box system. Prize boxes earned from forging 0, 1, and 2-star equipment are now permanently bound to the knight that earns them, meaning they can no longer be traded. As you might imagine, that change sparked quite a bit of discussion. Fortunately, Greyhavens didn't leave players wondering. Kora stepped in to explain exactly why the change was made. According to Greyhavens, these Forge prize boxes were originally intended as a progression tool for newer players, something that would give them a helpful boost while learning the game and working through the early tiers. But the data revealed something very different. Rather than being opened primarily by new players, a significant amount of activity came from experienced players, repeatedly creating new characters, farming the prize boxes as quickly as possible, deleting those characters, and then repeating the process over and over again. While Greyhavens acknowledged that players enjoyed this strategy, they also explained that it wasn't how the system had originally been designed to function. Faced with that situation, the team considered two options. One option was removing the Forge prize boxes entirely, a decision that would have required a much larger redesign of the Forge system itself. Instead, they chose what they felt was the smaller and less disruptive solution. Leave the boxes exactly as they are for newer players, but bind them to the character that earns them. Greyhavens also clarified that this change wasn't intended to stop players from challenging themselves with low-level gear. Rather, the goal was simply to make sure the rewards stayed with the characters they were originally designed to help. But honestly, the part of Cronus' post that caught my attention wasn't actually the Forge boxes. It was what he said afterward. He explained that the team is actively working on entirely new content for Spiral Knights, and that he expects they'll be able to talk more about some of those projects very soon. He also reminded players that Greyhavens is still a very small development team, and that while bug fixes and smaller improvements can be released fairly quickly, larger features naturally take much longer to develop. Personally, I think hearing that directly from the developers is encouraging. It doesn't tell us what they're working on, but it does tell us that development is moving forward. That brings us to this week's Community Spotlight. One of my favourite parts of producing Spiral Central has been getting to know the people behind the community. Over the past few weeks, I've had the chance to meet some incredibly passionate players, and today I'd like to introduce you to one of them. Joining me today is Manny, the creator of the Almirian Restoration Project. Manny, thank you so much for joining me today.
Hi, I'm Manly. I've been playing Spiral Knights for about 14 years. In the community, I'm probably best known as the guy who wears the Almirian Crusader set all the time.
Why don't we start at the beginning? For players who might not be familiar with the Restoration Project, where did the idea first come from?
Alright, so originally, the very first Almirian event happened in 2018. I created it just because I wanted to get a bunch of people wearing an Almirian Crusader set so that I could get a really big group picture. I feel like there would be no way to have that happen unless you created some sort of incentive, which is prizes, free stuff. So I did that. In 2018, we were kind of in the dark ages. We had about 30-ish people show up, actually dressed up, maybe 40 or 50 total, and it was great.
I think that's one of the things I enjoy most about community projects. They almost always start out as a small idea, then before you know it, they're bringing dozens of players together. Now, this was the third restoration project, and it's changed quite a bit since the first one. Looking back, what do you think has evolved the most?
It's evolved a lot. I've learned a lot. We got a lot more people. There's a bigger prize pool. And this is the first one where you don't simply dress up. You have to actually do quests and stuff. And part of that is to get the community together. Part of that is so it's not as boring as the last two. And I guess the other part is I just want people to do something.
One thing that really stood out to me this year was how interactive everything became. Instead of simply wearing the armor set, players were completing objectives, exploring maps, and working together throughout the event. What inspired you to take it in that direction?
It's just I didn't want it to be as boring for people. In years past, for the first and second event, all you had to do was show up in a Crusader outfit. And I just wanted to do more because the prize pool is a little bit bigger. I wanted people to kind of work for it, but not too hard. And I wanted people to get together. I wanted people, I don't know you, but hey, you want to help me, and maybe that'll make people grow. I grew up with games like World of Warcraft, and I remember gaming from that era being very community based. It's like, hey, I don't know where this is. Oh, hey, let's go find it together. I miss that element of gaming. So this is my way of bringing what I loved out of games back into the game that I love now, where I feel like it's a little bit lost, not just in Spiral Knights, but in gaming in general. So yeah, that inspired the shift towards this new way that I'm running the Almirian Restoration Project.
You actually touched on something there that I wanted to ask about. Throughout the event, there seemed to be a real emphasis on players helping one another. Was building that sense of cooperation always part of the vision?
Yes, that has always been one of the goals. Like I said earlier, I grew up in an era of gaming where the internet was around, but it was so young, and people still relied on others for help. Nowadays, that is less the case. You can just look up whatever you need. A lot of games have it so that you can do things by yourself. I guess I'm trying to bring that magic of old gaming into this event. I want people to I want people to help each other. I want there to be a sense of community again. If I succeed, then if even like five people make a new friend for hopefully life, that'd be great. I accomplished my goal.
I really like that answer, and it feels like that's something Spiral Knights has always done well, bringing people together. Now, I have to ask, the entire event revolves around the Almirian Empire. What is it about that part of Spiral Knights that drew you in?
Pretty much nothing about the lore brought me into the Almirian Empire. The real only reason I want to celebrate it is because I love the Almirian Crusader set. I've been wearing it for over 14 years now, since I first started the game. Funny enough, it's what got me into Spiral Knights, as bizarre as that is. I wish I could remember who wore it. But I was actually returning to the game in 2012. I played for the first time in 2011, but it was short-lived, maybe just a few weeks. Came back in 2012, I saw a guy in town, I'm like, whoa, that is a cool outfit. It wasn't even accessorized or anything, I just thought it was cool. So I was like, I'm going to get that armor, and then I'm going to quit the game. I got it, and I didn't quit. I think I joined a guild, found some friends, and the rest was history. But yeah, that's what inspired me. I just really like the armor. It's the only armor I ever wear. Anybody who plays the game long term will pretty much verify that I've been wearing this set since the dinosaurs. And yeah, it's just my love for the Almirian Crusader set.
Something I noticed while talking with you is that even though there are prizes involved, it never really sounded like the prizes were the point. So, after everything you've put into these events, what do you hope players remember most after participating?
I'm hoping that they just get to be part of something memorable. Something, 10 years from now, if they're questioned about Spiral Knights, they're like, oh yeah, I remember Spiral Knights. That thing happened. That event happened. It was great. Really just they walk away with a positive experience.
I really like that perspective. At the end of the day, events come and go, but it's the memories we make with other players that tend to stick with us the longest. Before we wrap things up, I'd like to give you the opportunity to speak directly to everyone watching. Is there anything you'd like to say to the Spiral Knights community?
To the community, I guess I just want to say thanks for always showing, support to the events, this one and the last two. Um, to those who have known me for a long time, thanks for being my friend. To those who are new to me, I hope we can make memories together. I'm hoping people go to the event or see this video, and maybe it inspires them to do their own event, or do something grander even. I truly believe that events like this can help us make Spiral Nights great again.
Manny, thank you so much for taking the time to share the story behind the Almirian Restoration Project. By the time this interview airs, today will actually be the final day of this year's restoration project. But even as the event comes to a close, there's still one more chapter left to celebrate. Manny, thanks again for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Thanks for giving me the chance to put the event out there. For those who are interested, the event will be happening on July 25th, 2026 at 11 a.m. CST. I hope to see you there.
And if you'd like to tune in, I'll have a link to Manny's Twitch channel in the description below. Congratulations again to everyone who participated in this year's Almirian Restoration Project, and best of luck to all of tomorrow's award recipients. Before we move on, one quick reminder. The Say Hello to Summer promotion officially comes to an end this coming Monday. If you've been thinking about picking up any Hololite prize boxes, status symbol auras, hologlyphs, or the light infantry armor sets, now's your last chance before they disappear. That brings us to the end of this week's briefing. But before we sign off, it's time for Kora's care package. If you're new here, every week, one member of our community will receive a randomly selected item from this month's care package collection. The items available this month are appearing on screen now. To become eligible for future care packages, all you need to do is subscribe to the Spiral Central YouTube channel, join Kora's Community, our official Discord server, then head over to the Introductions channel and introduce yourself to the community. After that, you'll be eligible for every future Kora's care package drawing while you're a part of Kora's Community. It's time for Kora's care package. And this week's care package item is cool ear fins. The package is ready to ship. Let's see who it's heading to. Congratulations to Birds of Prey. I'll be reaching out to you shortly so we can get your care package delivered. If your name wasn't selected this week, don't worry. You're automatically eligible for next week's care package as long as you're still a member of Kora's Community. That's everything that happened this week in Spiral Nights. As always, thank you so much for spending part of your week with me. If you enjoyed today's episode, consider subscribing so you don't miss next Friday's briefing. Until next time, good luck in the clockworks. Stay safe, Knights, and I'll see you next week.